Yes, sir, man. We on another episode of Champ Talk. Today I got a special guest with me, man. Very special guest. I haven't talked to my boy in years, so I'm looking forward to this. But long story short, man, welcome Andre Lewis, former Utah Conference champion in football, outstanding athlete in high school, two sport, basketball and football, man. Now a lifestyle designer, man. Accomplishments goes on. So, man, I just want to welcome you on the show, and I appreciate you, man. So, what's up?
Love, nah, it's love, you know what I'm saying? First off, let me just say thank you for having me on here. It's definitely an honor. I know you I see the young man that you are definitely becoming. I don't know, for everybody who don't know, I used to just help coach Brandon. And Brandon was definitely a standout athlete. He was definitely one of them hard-hitting linebackers. And he definitely took everything to his advantage. So like I said, be right on again for having me on your show.
Oh yeah, man. Of course, I had to get you on there eventually, man. I know you've been real busy, so I had to just reach out and see what you was up to. But with that being said, man, we just gonna go ahead and get right into it, bro. So first of all, I just want to start like how I start off with everybody, man. Where'd you grow up? Where's your foundation start?
Man, I'm a Bay Area boy, man. I grew up in California. I grew up right out there in San Francisco, California, Bayview, Hunters Point. Right, actually right over there on Harbor Road. And then spent some of my time on Bertha Lane. My father is Herm Lewis, and with him, although I mentioned Harbor Road, it's not one of those things that just for young athletes growing up and young guys, this is what you got to also think about. You want to be one of those guys who can go into any little neighborhood, any little city, and have a okay. Because if you are an athlete, you don't want to be one of those guys who can only go to certain little neighborhoods, and that's not an athlete. First off, handling your business if you're not able to go to certain little parts, if you in the wrong area, and sometimes it can be certain circumstances you are at the wrong area at the wrong time, but you can definitely prevent that if you are on that right page and that right path.
Talk about it, man. So, like you said, for somebody that's not an athlete growing up the Bay, or really even athletes growing up the Bay, it's easy to get steered in the wrong direction. But like you said, sports, it kind of help you, stay out the way, stay out of trouble, and do your thing. So, how'd you fall in love with sports, and what was the first sport that you fell in love with, man?
Yeah, the first sport was basketball. My dad put a basketball in my hand, and for me, man, like school was tough, honestly, D. But like looking back on it now, it seemed like playing basketball really just got my mind off of everything that was going on in my life as a kid and a teenager, a young adult growing up. Uh, and I was able to, meet all these different people, make all these different connections, go on these different trips. Playing basketball, yeah, hey, you.
Yeah.
And then football came around, and I did not like it. I
What?
did
That's
not like
crazy. That's crazy. I can't even believe that. Man, talk about that. So what was it about football like that you didn't like in particular? What was it at the time?
it. I'm sure you can talk to any basketball player, and they'll tell you that football was not meant for us at the time. For us at the time, man. And I look. I can tell you the story real quick, man. My dad told me we was going to McDonald's.
uh,
We end up going down to this little football field. I see the football players out there. I don't know what the hell's going on.
yeah.
So, oh yeah, I'm about to go say what's up to my friends, go up the street, go to McDonald's. I'm like, all right, cool. He popped the trunk. He grabbed some football pads out, grabbed a helmet. I'm looking like, none of my cousins is around. I don't know what's going on. He's like, oh, you about to suit up.
Uh,
I get out there and I was one of those guys that the memes getting made fun of. I was in the back. I was in the back.
in the back, he trying to avoid everybody coming.
I was that bad dog, and my dad was like a real militant dude.
Uh,
And I thank him for this though. He's like, man, like get out there. In the community of where he was at, he was able to see these guys who was doing these little Pop Warner field on the Pop Warner teams. And like, hey, look, this is my son. this is what's about to happen, and this is what's going on. That was a bless. So to be able to like look back on it now, I didn't like it, but you know, it's sort of it's crazy to look back. Now I didn't really like football, and then years later, I'm able to go play Division I football, and then go, you know, do the, you know, a little bit of the NFL thing to the CFL thing, and look back on where I'm at now. It's definitely a trip.
So talk about that though too. I mean, for somebody, because I've met a lot of basketball players that have tried the football thing, and like you said, at first, basketball players, like you said, when they first come in, it's not too many of them that's gonna like it. So coming at that point, like you said, you went D1 in football, like you ended up going to Utah. So how did that all transpire? How did that happen?
So my first 2 years of high school, I went to Sacred Heart Cathedral out there in San Francisco. It was a little private school, and my junior high was completely different. You know, it was no football team at the junior high. It was just straight basketball. It was a completely different atmosphere from what I was used to, or from what I was accustomed to, and then transition into this private school was kind of different. So, I did the football thing at the private school, and I wasn't playing the position that I was supposed to be playing. I did the basketball thing at the private school, and I wasn't able to make grades, so I kept getting kicked off the team, and it was fortunate for me. And that was the whole real reason I was going to that dang school. So I'm playing a sport I don't even like, and playing a sport that I love half the season, and then I to a public school out in Fairfield because the private school said that my grades was so low. My grades were so low at this school that I was making their overall grade system bad.
Wow, wow, that's crazy.
So they said, man, I remember this like it was yesterday. So I mean, it's you know, it's the way of life. It's just the universe showing you different things. Some people can take it and just, you know, pout about it, or some people can take it and be like, okay, you know, I got to bounce back and, you know, just keep going.
Right.
I wasn't one of those guys that just kept looking back. And then, you know, when I transferred to the school, oh, it's a trip, you know, just looking back on it and telling you the story. My junior year, I get there trying to play football, and they told me I transferred too late. So I didn't even get to play much.
Wow, that's crazy. So it's like, damn, like I can't hoop, and now you telling me I can't even play football? Like
Nothing like, so the first like 3 years of my high school career, now looking back on, I wasn't really like, I was playing sports, but I wasn't really playing it all the way through.
Right.
You know, I'm pretty sure there's some athletes now that can look back. You played with some guys that you can look back. That was some real talented guys in all sports, but just couldn't get that GPA.
All the time, especially at, man, you know, even though, you know, I wish you was there for the whole season to just see how it all turned out. But at Berkeley High, man, it's like, man, we'll have hella kids at the start of the season. Great weeks start going by, like you said, kids just start losing numbers every time. Because I mean, it's hard, and it's like you said, you look back at it and it's crazy because it's like even now I go back and be like, damn, like high school compared to college, easy. But it's like at that time you're not even thinking about that, especially playing because you only worried about getting on the field. So it's like I'm just trying to get my grades right just for football. You feel me? And then it never ended up working out like that because one thing leads to another, and next thing you know, you don't even got the grades for that. So
Exactly.
it's crazy how that all worked out. But even after then, though, like you said, you didn't get to play all 3 years. You end up going to JUCO, which you know, we see a lot of that route going on today. I interviewed a few players from Laney who was just on last chance shoot, and you know, it could turn out great or it could turn out, you know, I feel like it really depends on how you make it. You feel me? Like it depends on the experience. But what was your experience going at DVC or in Concord, and how was your experience at JC?
So I actually grade shared my first year at Chabot.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna play, and they said I wasn't good enough.
Wow.
So I sat out. It was cool though. Like I was always one of those guys. You know, you work hard, you're gonna get your opportunity and all that. And it didn't work out. So boom, DVC was already calling me that year, like, hey, we want you to come down here and come play with us and stuff like that. and I didn't want to go down there for something. I don't know why I didn't want to go to DPC that time, but I didn't want to go there.
Yeah.
So, oh no, my brother went to Chabot. All you guys, my brother Stevie Johnson, and Brandon got a chance to meet him. He played wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills 2008 all the way up to 2000.
Damn near just like you, bro. I messed with his vibe and his energy when we had met him that one time.
I'm trying to get him on your podcast too, so he can give you like the full length version from high school.
I love that. If you could set that up, I greatly appreciate that, bro.
Trying to put that together, and then we'll just go from there. But after my Glacier year, I got to DVC my first year, and I did cool my first year. You know, spectacular. I had 6 touchdowns. You know, like 600 and something yards, cover reception. I played with a lot of great guys. Morgan Breslin, he went to USC that year. There was a couple guys who went to like Cal, like Texas State, or no, Texas Tech. That they went. So I played with a lot of good guys my first year, or great guys my first year. And then my second year come, Coach Dar was an amazing coach. He loved my work ethic, the way I just got out there and just, you know, tried to be a leader for everything. And I remember my first letter. My first letter was from Utah. Like I said, I didn't have no idea about this whole football stuff. I was just like, as a basketball guy playing receiver, I was able to. It was like getting a rebound, getting a dunk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was like one of those things. Doing a crossover is like doing all my moves. So it was like I transitioned, and I really trained myself to be like, man, I'm looking at Chad YouTube. I went to YouTube University my first 4 years. You know what I'm saying? And I was just crazy. Chad Johnson, Stevie Johnson, Terrell, all day workouts. And because, you know, my brother was trying to help me out, but he really couldn't because he was doing his own thing. So it was like, I got to put myself in my own position. So I got that letter. I was like, who the hell is Utah? I'll Google you. I'm sorry. I was Google Utah. I'm like, Pac-12. I'm like, what the hell is the Pac-12?
Yeah.
I was so clueless about football. I'm like, what the hell is the Pac-12? I'm like, okay, Cal. I'm like, okay, I know all these. I'm like, oh, so it makes. I'm like, oh, this is the Pacific. Kind of, this makes sense. Cal, USC. I'm like,
right.
What the hell? Like this, they got some crazy teams. It's about playing against these types of teams. Then, you know, when I got that first letter, I started getting hella other letters. Real humble about all my stuff. Twitter came out, so I'm posting all my stuff to Twitter, doing all my own little marketing. It felt like, you know, being a businessman for DC. But my coaches helped me out whenever the coaches came by and talked. And then I started getting more letters. I took some trips. I love Utah, love the atmosphere. For me, I was already an older guy, so I wasn't really worried about like the partying and stuff. I was just trying to go out there, get my grades, do the football, graduate, and get up out of there. And then, you know, once the second year came, bro, I don't know what happened. A switch just came on, but I ended up becoming like the number 1 receiver in yards, the number 1 receiver in touchdowns. It was me.
I remember you telling us that, yeah.
Vince Malay. Me and Vince Malay. Vince Malay was a real solid receiver, 6'5". He went to Sierra JC. He played for the Baltimore Ravens. I'm not sure what Vince is up to now. He may still be in the league doing his thing. But me and him was going back and forth for touchdowns. I get 12, he'll get 12. I was really looking at stats like,
yeah. So was you the type you looking at stats before the game like, oh nah, I gotta get me.
Not before the game. It was I wasn't really tripping. I was just like, I'm about to go out there and go do my thing. Either way, you know. So I went out there but after the game, I'm like, okay, what Vince do at the end of the game?
Yeah.
I had to get 2. I'm like, all right, I'm up.
All right, I got to come back with 3 now, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? I already know. I know the mindset, man. You ain't got to tell me.
But yeah, it was crazy. That whole year was just a trip. Like our first game was against City College. We lost. They cheated. I don't know. interview anybody at City College, and you tell them Andre Lewis told y'all cheated us that year.
Hey, y'all heard it here first on Champ Talk.
Y'all
City
cheated us that year. We had that game. The damn clock is winding down. We up. I scored before half. It's like 60 yards. Take it to the crib. Bro, catch to the house. Fourth quarter come, we up like a touchdown. Bro, tell me why the clock, instead of going down, this shit's going up.
Oh, hell no. What? You won.
It's going 29, 28, 27. It's going 30, 31, 32.
Hey, they said we not losing today.
Not the BBC, but man, it was like I said, like, you know, being around away teams, home teams, you meet your friends. It's all good camaraderie. It's all love. It's all good energy. Everybody is all in it for the same goal and same purpose. And that's me.
What do you think? What was the deciding factor in you going to Utah? Like, did you have more offers? And then, like you said, because I mean, you kind of elaborated on it already. You said you wasn't really too focused on the college life. You know, you wanted to just go to school and, you know, play football. But ultimately, what was the ultimate decision in you going to Utah? Like, what made them be like, after that visit, what was it like to, like, okay, I'm going here? You feel me? I can see myself here.
I had like hella offers. I had like LSU. I committed to LSU. The entire coaching staff got committed to Texas Tech. The entire coaching staff got rearranged. I went to Iowa State. I didn't like how far it was.
That's far. That's in the middle of nowhere far.
Yeah, coming to California at the age of, I was like 19, 20 at the time, and I had to get on 2 planes. Man, I remember that trip. I would have loved it. I would have loved it, I'm sure. But getting off the plane and you driving like 2 hours and damn near, and all you see is like greenery.
You ain't trying to be around that.
Yeah, my first question was like, what y'all do out here?
Yeah. What they say?
You know, we usually go hunting, or we go hiking. And I was like, that's the best. He like,
I don't think this is the school for me.
I don't know. But they had a player from Oakland that actually, I can't remember his name, but if you guys can go back to like the year like 2012, 2013, they had a player, a receiver, raw dude. I want to say he went to like Oakland Tech or something like that, but he was a receiver and came out of Oakland.
Okay.
It happened after that, but I was glad to have met him. He had took me on my little recruiting trip.
That's cool. That's what's up. So.
But look. My ultimate decision. My fault.
It's all good.
My ultimate decision was it was like, to me, Utah was like the underdog. Mm-hmm. My brother went to University of Kentucky, and they was underdogs to the SEC. Mm-hmm. Well, not he, but that program came in 2008. I'm not sure if you can remember when LSU was like #1 back in like 2008. It was #1 and went into 5 overtimes against University of Kentucky.
I think I do remember that.
We caught the game winning touchdown. And
I didn't even know that.
Won it, and from that point on, I was like, you know what? I always wanted to follow my brother's footsteps. You know, as far as like getting tattoos and all the tattoos he got, and the way, you know, his little swag was and stuff like that. But you know, looking back on it, it's like that's why I sort of chose Utah. They was freshly new into the Pac-12. I think they just came from like the Mountain West or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep, I think it was the Mountain West Conference. Yeah.
West. They was playing against San Jose and stuff like that. And when they had came in, they was playing against all those teams I had named: Cal, USC, UCLA, and I wanted to be a part of that. When I had went to my recruiting trip, I seen this guy, Kenneth Scott. I'll introduce you to Kenneth Scott too. He'll be another guy to interview. He was like the number one receiver at the University of Utah that year. He went by Batman. In my recruiting trip, I went to it was Utah versus USC. In October, we do this thing where it's a blackout, so the whole stadium is all black. Oh. Black. Our uniform is black. The fans come in all black.
Oh, I know that energy was crazy. I know
crazy.
that was off the charts. I know you had to. I know if I'm coming into a game like that, I'm like, I gotta go crazy.
I'm like, man, I'm going here. Here. And just meeting K. Scott, Dres Anderson, and Delashawn McCullen, and Dominique Hatfield, all the guys that came in that year, it was like a real blessing. And for me, coming from San Francisco, you know, Bayview, a real little small little area, and being around the guys who I've been around, it was a real humbling and beautiful experience for me.
That's what's up. So then, Utah, like you said at the time, you guys switching from the Mountain West Conference. A lot of adjustments going on, just moving into a different conference, a harder conference, in my opinion. But you guys do something special at your time there. Y'all won a conference championship. Not too many people can say or have a ring, you know, that they could look at like, okay, I accomplished something at a D1 level, a conference championship at the Pac-12. So what was that feeling like? How was it? You feel me? Like, take me through that whole day if you can, or that, not the whole day, but you know, that whole atmosphere. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we had played in Las Vegas,
Mm.
and my first year was our junior. Well, I'm gonna tell you about my senior year. The senior year was like 10 times better. Senior year, we went back to Las Vegas again.
Mm.
In the Royal City Purple Bowl, I think it was called, or the Royal Purple Bowl, something like that. Royal City Purple Bowl, something like that. We played in Colorado State, and we was there the entire week. But the seniors were able to get their own suite, so we stayed at the Mandela Bay. That's a bust down little hotel room, you know what I'm saying?
Y'all in Vegas, y'all at the prime times of y'all lives.
It up. You know what I'm saying? But look, we didn't have no clothes and nothing like that. We only had our Utah gear. So, I mean, wherever we was walking, people was like, "Oh, that's the Utah players." You can't so it was all business anyway.
Yeah.
Business, but we was for sure having fun. So it also, you know, before the games and stuff, if you make it to a bowl, the bigger the bowl, the bigger the gifts and stuff is.
Mm-hmm.
So we were getting like, you know, beat headphones, laptops, and little stuff like that. We were just like, man, this is unbelievable. For me, it's crazy.
Especially coming, like you said, a kid from the Bay, you feel me? I already know how that goes. And you get all this, you like, I ain't never, yeah.
Crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was just like I said, it was a blessing, dog. Like, I would have never had thought that. So the day of the game, you know, it's a regular little day for, you know, for the players and the coaches, staff, and all that. We go through our regular little routine and meetings and the team walkthrough, the youth walk, and all that. And you know, we get to this. I didn't even know Las Vegas had this field back. I don't think it wasn't at UNLV. I don't know how or where they built this field.
You said it wasn't at UNLV?
It wasn't at UNLV.
I don't know what field y'all was at.
It was at an outdoor football field. It was a beautiful field. I'm just like, damn, okay, I didn't know they had this over here.
Yeah.
So we get to we get there, and you know, it's Las Vegas. So for me, I used to always go out real early and just run around, take my laps, and just take in like the atmosphere. Like, wow, you know, again, a kid coming from where I came from, I never would have thought I would be right here. So I would always, you know, say my blessings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, game started, we just knew what time it was. Game ended, we win, and that's where the fun began. Like, they started announcing our trophies. Actually, if you go to my Instagram, you may or may not be able to find a photo of me with the trophy holding it up. I'm actually like elbowing the lady who like announced it. I was so excited. I was like, you see her in the corner, like looking like what? But it was me and my boy Wesley Tonga. He was the tight end. Like, we was just holding it up, and we was, and Travis Wilson, he was the quarterback. And we were just holding it up, real excited and stuff. And you know, like at the end of the game, the trophy came into the locker room, and us and the receiving corps was called AFG, the Air Force Group. Dres, K. Scott, Delashawn, Andrew Santiago, Dominique Hatfield, Jeffrey Norwood, Tango Towns,
Weapons on weapons.
Brian. It was all types of people that we had, man. So if I'm missing anybody else, Uh, y'all already know AFG for life for sure.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that was a humbling experience getting that trophy, dog. For real.
That's what's up. So then, I'm sure that was a surreal moment, especially for somebody like you said, kid coming out the Bay. That's something surreal. It's something that a lot of people don't even get to accomplish. A lot of people don't even make it D1. But after that, I'm sure, like your brother, you told me before, like when I was younger, when you used to coach, like you've had opportunities, or you could have had the opportunity to make it to the league, like your brother, but then there was something tragic that happened, if I'm remembering it correctly. So if you want to, man, I just want to, if we can, I just want to get into, not too deep if it's too touchy, but just what happened, because I would have loved to see you in the league, but stuff happens, and it turned out for the better, but I just want to get into that if we can.
Yeah, and you know what? And before I elaborate on that, I'm a piggyback. You know, you guys out there who tuning in, all the 5.9 million of you guys that's watching and listening and tuning in to this podcast right now, man. I want y'all to know, D1, D2, D3, shit. Going JC, finishing up your high school, all that. That's huge accomplishments. So, never think because you didn't make it to D1 or you didn't make it to the next level, never think that your accolades didn't mean nothing. Because even me playing at the D1 level, I seen amazing guys play, and to only see two of them or one of them still in the NFL, it's like, wow. I personally can't be like, damn, I should league because, like I said, I never would have even thought I would have made it that far. So it's a blessing that that God and the universe was with me that whole way through. But I can't really. I would never say never feel like you got defeated because you didn't make it to a level that you thought that you should have made it to, because there's so many more levels that you can try to accomplish and try to make it to. And then just to go back off to your to your question, my senior year, after my senior year, we had the NFL Pro Day in Utah, and I had just drove back to Sacramento, and where my brother had his other home, and my mom was house sitting and all that stuff, and when I got in there, everything was all good. She had opened the doors like 3 a.m. I had just drove like 15, 16 hours from you. This is a long ass drive. Like 16 hours from Utah and stuff. We said our what's up. We were supposed to, go grab some food and stuff. And in December on December 14th, I had woke up and she was gone. Well, she was gone, so she had passed away in her sleep peacefully. And and
Sorry about that.
she had passed away, and we said our goodbyes. And for me, it was I was happy that she was able to go away in her sleep, because from what I heard, my dad, who was the first person I had called, she had just went to Buffalo to go see my brother, and I guess she was able to go see all of his kids. She was able to see my older sister and her kids. She was able to see my little sister, and I was the only one that she was able to really see, and I was in Utah. So I think that she knew, And she went away peacefully in her sleep after she had seen all her kids, her grandchildren, and all that. And I was just like not in the right state of mind to really go do no NFL pro day. So what happened was after the pro day had passed, my agent CJ LeBoy. CJ LeBoy had called me and he just was telling me about the news, or nothing about the news, but he was just just saying how he was sorry and all that. And then he gave me an opportunity to go play, or go try out, I should say, for the CFL. And that's when I went out there to the CFL. I had to get my passport. Never had my passport. Get my passport and stuff. Went out to Winnipeg. Played for Winnipeg for like half a season. Still wasn't really in the right state of mind. Like I said, just to look back on everything. Everybody got their own story. Everybody got their own journey. Football for me, it was, like I said, I'm really thankful and really blessed and so happy that I was able to see that experience. But for me, football wasn't one of those things that I was always into. Just to even go back to the first story, just to see how my high school, because who knows if I was able to finish out grades and play all 4 years, who knows what would have happened. Maybe I would have really loved football. I was able to play for 2 years, a year. JC had to sit a year. I really only had to do 2 years of really like training with football. It was just a blessing that I was just fortunate, I guess, just to be around certain coaches that wanted to see certain players and certain people win. And man, like I said, to go back, any blessing, man, like everybody you may have an asshole coach that just don't know what the hell he's doing. But you got a brother right beside you that know your pain.
Exactly, going through it right with you.
Right with you. You got not just your brother that's on the way to you. You got a friend that's across from you that you're playing against that know your feeling.
Yeah.
You got on the other sideline that know your pain. That's why the camaraderie between players is so connected. That's why I really couldn't finish at Beehive. I wanted to see everybody win. And for high school coaches, also it's going to be watching at some time, you guys got to let every guy go out there and showcase their ability. No high school player is going to be better than the next high school player unless you're freaking like Odell Beckham, unless you just see
right.
Hey, this kid is not supposed to be out here, you know what I'm saying? But all these players get that type of opportunity to showcase their ability. You shouldn't hold other players back, even if they can only catch 6 out of 10 passes.
Yeah.
They may do a lot better than the next coach may like, and that will also boost their confidence to catch 8 out of 10 passes next time, because they're like, you know what, he just paid me. I missed 2. I'm gonna go better. I got an opportunity to go out there and go play. If you keep slipping on your opportunity, that's on you.
Right, but all it takes is opportunity, though. And
you got to get that other foot inside by yourself.
Man, that's real. I mean, especially me, I can relate to that the most. I mean, you can already tell. I'm sure when you first came in, you probably was like, man, who is this 5'5" linebacker? But you feel me? I used to always come in with my mindset was always like, way my dad used to put it, he used to be like, yeah, you short, yeah, you play linebacker, but it was like, when you get your opportunity, go in there and make it something happen. They gonna make them throw you in the game. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how I looked at it going into my senior year. You feel me? I was like, it was this one dude against Odell, bullied me off the line my junior year. I wish you could have seen it, coach. I mean, he straight disrespected me. So that whole senior year, I was going in the weight room, just, you feel me, all right, bet that won't happen again. You feel me? I'm going to get in the weight room. I'm going to live with the lineman. I'm going to get buffed. You feel me? But all that was, it's like you said, I mean, it's just all about opportunity and letting these kids develop. You feel me? Especially at the high school level, because I mean, you never know what a kid could be unless you give them a chance to develop and get that opportunity.
Nah, we'll talk because just to piggyback off of that, like my senior year, man, these guys thought I was supposed to be the most illest player in the county of Fairfield because of who my brother was, how what my height looked like, and he was able to do this in basketball. I went out there and I sucked. I sucked my senior year at receiver. I think I had like the first like 8. It was a guy, Miles King. He was like really talented quarterback. And he had some really good receivers the year before named Cameron Richmond and Jason Verrett. I played with Jason Verrett, who now plays for the 49ers.
49ers, yeah.
He went to junior college, too. He went to Santa Rosa.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's right.
Santa Rosa before going to TCU. So, so imagine having those types of guys, at your arsenal, and you get this guy who has no idea how to play football.
Man.
It was really frustrating. And, man, like, I don't know, something just happened and the last game of the season, a switch just came on and I was able to get all types of touchdowns. So, looking at you, yeah, I did come in and I was like, this guy, he plays linebacker. Like, yeah, he's 5'5". But me, I go off, I can see energy.
Mm-hmm.
I had got your energy. As soon as you like came over and started talking, like, all right, coach, I got you. Watch from the dog. I was like, he about to come out here and try to really make some. And you went out there and you made your noise. So, that's how I got to be.
That's what's up, man. I just got a few more questions for you, man. We talked about the sports life, but I've seen the transition from after you stopped coaching us. I mean, I'm sure you was doing work before then, but I seen the growth. I mean, I used to just be watching you on Instagram. I used to be like, bro, this dude is doing stuff that like I don't even see like people like us doing in a sense. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I mean, I'm sure it's a lot more of us, but you feel me? Like coming from somebody from Berkeley, I don't see too many black life designers or real estate agents, And I seen you jumped into that lifestyle and you gave it your full shot, just like you did with this football thing. And man, you're going crazy. So I mean, I just want to talk about how'd you get into that, and what inspires you just to keep going with that after graduation and just pushing forward to where you've had successful sales, I'm sure now, and all types of stuff. So
yeah, man, it's definitely been a long journey, man. Like you said, you don't usually see like too many people doing this type of stuff, or maybe you don't see like too many athletes that's able to make that easy transition at school. And that's only because when you've played this thing for so long, you went so far. That's kind of all you really know. So if you never really, if you never really just thought about like other little outlets of what you was possibly good at, like I used to take speech classes and stuff like that. So I figured like, I'm gonna be doing some type of something when I'm like talking to people. I love helping people. So I'm gonna be doing some type of something when I'm like helping people. And that's sort of how I like, just went about it. And, during my football career, I always used to think like, football would be amazing, but if just in case I don't make it, what else would I be good at? And I always knew that I didn't really want to work for other people. I did work for other people for, some time once I had got out of the CFL and the NFL league for a little bit. And, like I did 24-hour fitness. I worked at FedEx for a little bit. I actually worked at FedEx for like 2.5 weeks, Brandon. And this was like fresh out of like CFL, AFL. And I was like, I can't do this.
Trust me, I hear you for sure. I hear you.
So I got out of FedEx. I didn't know how the job experiences was. I didn't even go to work. I didn't even tell these people I wanted to quit. I just stopped going. They blow my phone. I'm like, man, why are these people blowing my phone? I'm not going.
Yeah.
My dad, like, man, you can't just do that. Like, you got to actually tell these people that you want to quit at least. So I started getting like, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And then I did 24-hour fitness when I started doing like training and stuff. I'm like, you know what? I've been training all my life. I want to do this.
Yeah.
Found out, I'm like, man, I don't want to keep training. I've been training literally all my life. I don't want to keep doing this for the rest of my life.
Right.
I want to do this on my own when I want to bike and do my own little push-ups.
But I don't want to do this for a living.
I don't want to just be doing in there going curls for 2.5 hours, washing my food, and gotta go back the next in like a couple hours, 2, 3. Oh hell no!
Yeah, for sure. I'm right there with you.
I'm gonna stay fat. Just definitely do my thing, but nah. So I definitely went through a couple stages and a couple of transitions to try to figure out what I actually wanted to do, and I got into this real estate stuff. I started doing really well. I was actually I was in the Philippines when I thought about wanting to do the real estate, because the person I was with, they was doing real estate, and I was like, man, you got your whole family down here, like, this is all real estate.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how you did that.
I did it for the money, and then I started looking in. I'm like, damn, like I'm actually helping people and meeting different people every different day. It's a different situation every single day. It's a job, but it's a different job every single day. I don't know what the hell's going on.
So you never come in with the mindset of I know what I'm doing today, or like it's more so like it's a new challenge every day.
It's a new challenge, and I love it. I go in there, okay. I mean, yeah, of course, if I'm working for like a month, I know, okay. But this client may have had like a bad day the last day, and may not want to talk to me the way they were talking to me the last week. So I'm like, what's going on?
That's right.
Catch your attitude like, no, I don't want to look at this house. I'm like, damn. I mean, I can't say that. Obviously, I can't say that.
Yeah, no, I know, but in your head, yeah, for sure.
I'm like, okay, well, let's go to the next house then. Let's go. But then like all this Corona, the COVID stuff had happened, and Corona and all that happened, and for me, real estate sort of slowed down. So again, I had to find another outlet, and just like you, I'm doing like it's not a podcast. Mine is more like a YouTube series called So What Do You Do? That's another thing that's just been really.
Talk about that though. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but talk about that though. You said it's a YouTube series. What is it? What are you? What's going on in that YouTube? Just for the people that just haven't been able to see or looking forward to, subscribe.
It's called So What Do You Do? And we got guests like Larry June, the Bay Area artist. We got guests like Rich Rocka, who's a Bay Area artist. We got restaurants, Shay Solo, Drifter, Oreo. We got a tattoo artist, OC Tattoo. His episode's coming out. Hairstylist, Jay Salon. DJs, and DJ Big Cali. Man, we got a couple of people that's coming out, and pretty much it's pretty much like how you're doing. I'm getting, entrepreneurs and lifestyle designers who are like-minded entrepreneurs who are trying to build their business, build their brand, and I'm asking them, so what do you do? Tell the people, what do you do? You're a chef. How do you become a chef? How? What's the pros and cons of being a chef? How did you get the name Larry June? What was your name before that? How did you think of this ad lib? And what's your biggest event that you've ever done? I'm just trying to figure out what made you get into what you're doing. Why are you doing it? And it's been kind of fun. Like, man, I just got this tattoo just the other day. It's called
That's saucy.
It's Super Saiyan. It's another tattoo artist, the artist who's coming out this week.
I was about to say that's the one you got coming on this week, right?
This coming up month. That's the Panther.
Oh, that's dope.
It's been crazy. Another one is a painting, IRK Originals. So it's definitely been like a wonderful experience because you just get to meet so many people and just see what it is that they do and be in their shoes for a little bit.
That's dope, bro. Even if I don't know them from a can of paint, but they doing something, innovative or just, doing something that makes them happier, that's being productive, you know what I'm saying? I like to just hear their story and how they got there. Cause I mean, with every person comes a story, and with every story comes life lessons that, that you can hold on to forever. So that's pretty much the goal of this podcast. Just trying to hear about people's story and how they got to where they are, and where their journey is gonna be like on the way. So yeah, I respect what you're doing though. That's dope, bro.
Man, nah, you know what? And I respect what you're doing too, B. You just got to keep going, man. That's all it is. Just got to be consistent about everything that you're doing. As with your podcast, if you open up, a clothing line, if you're an artist, whatever it is, you got to be consistent with all your stuff, because 1,000 viewerships becomes 10,000, that 10,000 becomes 100, 100 becomes 1,000,000. That just keeps going up, 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 up. It may not happen right away. It may happen like a month, two months. It may happen a year, 2 years. It only takes 5 years for something to really start booming. And if you can stay consistent with everything that you're doing and just make it better and better and better each time, let's believe it's gonna pop off.
I appreciate that, man, especially coming from you, man. Somebody who's just so successful, been a positive influence in my life. Man, I loved having you on here. We had a great talk, and I'm just looking forward to, what you're going to be doing in the future. Hopefully, I can get you back on, when COVID is all over and I'm out done with school and all that, and we could do it in person. And, by that time, we'll have some more stuff to talk about, man. So.
Yeah, it'll definitely be love. But in the meantime, man, once we get off of this, like I said, I'm definitely trying to link in with those guys I had talked about. Even I got another guy, Kevin Green. Kevin Green, he went to USC and did some time in the NFL for a little bit, and is now a black entrepreneur for the Salesforce company, in Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that's dope. And honestly, bro, anybody that you find that you think we want to do an interview, man, I'm open to it, bro. This is an open platform for anybody, bro. So I'd appreciate all of that, man, for real.
Are you doing artists, or are you just doing all athletes?
Man, I'm doing artists, I'm doing entrepreneurs, I'm doing athletes.
I got an artist for you, man. We're gonna have something going on, man. Look, you got my number. I sent it to you on Instagram. Tag everybody names I said in this podcast on Instagram whenever you can. I know they're gonna see it. I know they're gonna look at it. I know y'all gonna see my face. So y'all make sure y'all show my boy Brandon. We out here, Champ Talk time. So what do you do?
You heard it here first, man. Champ Talk. Y'all know what it is, bro. I appreciate you, man. See you later, bro.